been involved in this Occupy Wall Street in the background of people that are building the system up from the ground floor on up. I do have some major concerns. I just received an email from the group that's starting this all up. Let me see who it is. Let me pull up the email. The Robin Hood ADBUSTERS. Very, very alarming what I've seen in this email. I'll post what was said on there on the bottom of this email. But that seems to be the controlling group, is whoever is paying for ADBUSTERS has more say than we think. And it's like, okay, just because they formed a globe to get up and protest doesn't mean we need to let them take control over everything. And basically what they want is demands. They want us to make a demand. Let everybody know, what are our demands? And as soon as you make a demand, you give away your power. So basically, that's what I'm looking. I don't know whether they're doing that intentionally or not, or whether they just don't know what it is that they're doing. But as soon as you make a demand, you're going to have an expectation of somebody to solve your problem. Now that's the same system that we have right now, is go make a complaint anywhere. Go make a demand anywhere. Do you think they're really going to listen to you? You know, as soon as you make a demand, then that means you're going to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait to see if they're going to fulfill your demands. That's insanity. You already know that this group, and they want demands at the G20. Has the G20, look at what the G20 has done to every other protest. Do you think in a million years that if the 99% came up to them and said, we have demands, that they're going to listen? We have been demanding individually for a long time, which only gave our own personal power away. Now, if we form collectively and create a demand and say, okay, now you're going to listen to us? No, they are insane people. Why would you want insane people to fulfill your demands? They are medically insane. They are not mentally, emotionally sound people to be able to even walk themselves into a workplace and do a job. If you want insanity to listen to your demands, you're just as insane as they are. So that's some problems that I have with that. And I've heard at the beginning that what we're going to be doing is designing something completely different, something we've never seen before. Well, making a demand is something that we've definitely seen before. That's nothing different. So I've been working on this my whole entire life. It's like, how can we make a change? So I'm trying to find a group that's involved at the root level that will control those emails going out. That's actually, you know, because the ADBUSTERS is making a huge, it's communication. The way we communicate influences. It influences, it guides us. Where like somebody comes up with an idea, the herd will follow. And that's got to change. If we all have a say, I didn't have a say in what that email came out. That is not the direction I want to go into, what was in this email. I mean, the majority of people that have complaints, that want change, that don't know all of these systems and to know where all of these systems are completely flawed. If you don't know this, how wrong this is, you will see that email as, yeah, let's do it. You'll go down the path of everything wrong because you're doing the same wrong thing. And where I'm coming from is I come from a genetic history of abuse. grandparents, my parents. You know, I seen the patterns of abuse when I was 3. I was abused. And I was determined. I could see, well, why are you doing this? Why, you know, there was never this, get angry at somebody who's beating the crap out of you. It was more of me trying to understand, well, why would you want to do something like that? So I knew within these systems, because they were in my face, it was religion that told them to beat me. So we really need to look at our religious systems. Our education, justice, medical played a huge role in me getting beaten all my life. The medical system right now is totally insane. So if you are healthy, the medical community will call you mentally ill because it's mentally ill. So, you know, if you are insane, looking at somebody that's sane, you will see them to be insane while you think you're sane. So, you know, somebody that is sane will look at and judge the other. It's just opposing views. So let's face it, the only thing that the medical community can do is give you a pill. It can't cure anything. And that's what healthcare is all about, to live healthy. You aren't living healthy when you're going to take a pill that solves one problem but gives you 100 list of warnings of what else it's going to cause you. It's completely insane, that system. So what we need to do is, you know, we're in position A and we need to get to position B. And then we need a time frame that will get us there. So I'm suggesting 2012 December. Why? Because the global consciousness has been paying attention to that date. We're either going to look for the Armageddon or we're going to look for a global awakening. So the project of redesigning the planet, let's make a time frame that this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it by this date. So as soon as you put that date down there, then at least we're relaxing everybody that wants to participate but doesn't feel like they're getting heard, or we need to formulate our systems. We need time to build those systems. So that eases the stress when you at least know what the hell's going on and what date you can expect it to be done. This is the problem. I've made videos on world peace. A lot of people are talking world peace, but they don't have a plan. They don't, you know, they're not saying, you know, what it should be, what would it take to get there, and what's the time that they're going to accomplish it. They're all making money off books saying we need world peace, but they got no plan on how to create it. Nonprofits is another problem within our systems that I want to get into. So, and this comes from me taking a programming course. I had taken this self-directed programming course. They gave me an impossible project to do in an impossible time frame. And you know what? I got it done all the time. Because as soon as I seen what it is I was supposed to do, by the time I was supposed to do it, I formulated a plan. You need your requirements. So what are the requirements for all of these systems to be changed? We need to start writing them down. So we need some kind of form that gets everybody involved. So we need input. Everybody needs to be able to input their problem and their solution. So everybody has to realize that as soon as a problem is born, it's also born at the same exact time as the solution. This is time. When we're going to say 2012 is the end of time, we will be ending time as soon as we open our comprehension to recognize a problem but see the solution instantly. We won't be having that time that gets us from A to B. That is where humanity is headed towards. So you have to be able to recognize that this is one way that I've seen in healing anybody, is what we've been doing all the time is think positively. You know, if you live your life positively, everything will go great. But while you're living your life positive, and ignore negative rows. So one good example of that is Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer got cancer. Why? Because he chose to think positively all the time. He ignored the problem that he should have been facing, and as long as he doesn't want to face his issues, it will manifest into some form of disease. We live in a causal world. Cause and effect. So if you get cancer, what's the cause? And even the cancer research, all of them are saying more than 50% of all cancers can be cured because of the cause. If you get rid of the causes, you get rid of all of your cancer. It heals. This is spontaneous healing with any illness, any disease that we are suffering from right now has a cause. And all of those causes are found within these systems. So that's why we need to change all of those systems. So the first thing in the input that we're supposed to do is make all your complaints. Make a long list of every single thing that pisses you off. This is something that we've been ignoring. All of humanity is never look at the negative, but you have to. Otherwise it grows. So everybody on the planet needs to go in this system that we're describing and put every single one of your complaints down. Now, if you have a complaint, then you know the solution. The way to comprehend it is, this is the way it is. It is. Okay? But you know the way it should be. So when we're inputting information, that's the way it should be worded. It's got to be dumbed down and simple as possible, so people that are in extreme pain can get it and can fully understand what's going on. So then your complaints should be listed by category, you know, whatever category. So you have a complaints, you have solutions, and you have the category. Category your complaint fits within. Now the category should constantly be able to, like you'll have a list of categories. If your category is not in that list, you should have the option to add something to categories so that we're getting a full view of what's going on. And then you should be able to look up the categories and see what everybody's complaints are and see what everybody's solutions are. Now, one of the biggest problems that we have is a democracy. It's the 51% win and the 49% lose mindset. We cannot have any losers on the planet, because you turn out to be the 99% complaining, because this is what the game is. 51% of us have agreed and voted